You excited for tomorrow?
Definitely.
But what will we wear?
So what would we wear? I could go dark academic again. Is that what you called it that one time?
Yeah.
Dark academia. My name is Riivo Kruuk, and I'm a multimedia artist here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Is there anything different about this show that would surprise people who are familiar with your work?
Definitely. So this is basically just an expansion of my sketchbook and how fundamental my sketches are to my process and murals. So this is just a completely different way of presenting artwork. Usually they're paintings, large scale paintings, small paintings. And this is just not that. This is more drawing inspired and focused. Just to show how such a small, simple idea can become a big mural.
And what do the beginnings typically look like?
So on the one wall here, we have my 5-minute sketches that I do every morning.
Ooh, can you show us real quick which sketches those are?
So these are pretty much just a warm-up every morning to get my hand and brain working together and get my mind kind of in this artistic mentality and creative zone. So this is just how I start and kind of start getting ideas, and then sometimes one of these will stick out to me and I'll expand on it and it becomes a more in-depth sketch, and sometimes it stays as that as the days go by and the process keeps going, and sometimes they stick around and then become something bigger.
Are these references, or have you just drawn enough faces now that it just kind of comes out of you?
Definitely references still. So a lot of these are just stuff I find on the internet or pictures I have with friends. I'm always taking photos whenever I'm out with friends, family, just snapping random pictures. And because sometimes you find some gems in there that become compositionally really good for an artwork.
And I have to ask, because it seems to be part of your motifs here, the cute little blush marks.
Yeah, so I like to have
Tell me about it.
I think it was kind of a fun way to break up the face. Sometimes having such large space on the cheek. For me, I guess it started off as a challenge to paint that, and then this was a solution to this problem of having a large space and having to flesh out that whole cheek and get the terminators correct and the values and shadows and all that. And then it's kind of inspired by my grandma as well. So when she has a glass of wine, her cheeks just turn super red. It's really cute. So I figured that'd be kind of a fun little homage to her, homage to her.
I like that I'm seeing it also become part of this like repetition in your pieces.
Definitely.
These little circles happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Compacts, nibbles.
I felt like I needed a dialogue or a library of motifs and mark making to use, just so that my work can be pretty eclectic in terms of subject matter or executions.
I was talking to Kevin, one of our studio artists here yesterday, and they were mentioning that you used to do a lot of or still do, soccer paintings.
Yeah, definitely. I thought I was going to be a professional soccer player. So,
Still playing?
Still play every once in a while, not as much as I'd like to or used to, but...
Well, you're putting on shows.
Yeah, and I used to find a lot of pictures from soccer games that looked very Renaissance and Baroque in their compositions. So I thought that'd be...
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was a fun way. So with this one right here, this is a rugby painting, or a rugby, inspired from a rugby picture.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if this was like leading back to some of your older works.
Yeah, so I wanted to come a little bit full circle with that, but it just showed it's such an interesting composition that I could not think of in my head. So it's a way for me to tie in that sport background, but also get new references, more contemporary references for the style of the old masters and the compositions of people like Caravaggio. Or if you think of some of the paintings of the masters, they were taking stuff from either Roman sport or they were taking war-inspired pictures, which are still, very athletic in the foundation of it.
Yeah.
So I just figured it's a good way to tie in that narrative between past and contemporary.
How long have you been doing mural work? Because it seems kind of prolific.
Since 2020, technically, I guess, which started off with just painting signage or things that businesses could use for their marketing and branding.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is cool, but I want to do my own stuff. So I started going around asking people if I could paint on their walls for free.
Nice.
And if I was allowed to paint what I wanted, if they didn't like it, I'd paint over it. Just let me get some pictures. And I've been lucky that none of them have been painted over.
I can't imagine.
Well, you never, I mean, it was
I know you never know.
It was 5 years ago as well, so I wasn't as developed in my library of stuff and subject matter and style.
And then our last, most recent
And
piece.
that one was from the Beeple Shepherd Ferry. Anybody was this show this past weekend.
Thing you want to say to your audience before tomorrow night?
No.
When's your show?
Tomorrow, Friday, the 27th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Redux Contemporary Art Center.
And we'll see
Please
you
come
there,
by.
Riivo.
Thank you. This show this past weekend. So very, very excited to paint with everyone around. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
chaos though, but it's all good.